Hey everybody, I'm just taking a beautiful Friday to go over my bike a little bit before I do a bleed on the brakes. Uh, Figured I'd discuss everything that I've upgraded, changed over, fixed up a little bit on the Mars 3.0 that I own, and maybe some things that maybe the company, if they ever pay attention to this video, might think about upgrading for the 4.0 or some other versions. So yeah, let's get into it. So there's some old parts and my bike. So first thing, one of the first things I did was so that things would actually stick a bit better onto the rear rack was I put some squishy tape as well as some duct tape onto it to give it more purchase, more grip. So if I put anything metal onto it, it grips a bit better. Uh, I, because I'm about 6'1", 6'2"-ish, 225 pounds, or as I like to say, 16 stone, because it's a smaller number. I was noticing that the original plastic pedals were starting to get a little flexible. So I replaced them with these aluminium ones with strong support here. But that's when I did that, I didn't quite crank them in tight enough, and I had one of them back out a little ways on the crank arm, and it actually ripped out of the crank arm, so I had to replace the crank arms. But oh well. I was noticing with how hard the handle grips are that it was giving me some palm soreness, so I replaced those. My butt was getting sore from the size of the bike seat, as well as how wide the I don't know what you call this portion of the bike seat, but the crotch portion of the bike seat. So it was giving me some soreness as well, so I replaced that. And I also got myself a dropper style seat post that's got a lever underneath the bike seat. So yeah, I picked up a cell phone holder and it's a pouch for holding your water bottle, but it's nice and soft so that when the handlebars fold down against the bike, it doesn't extend the thickness of the bike too much. I picked up a spare battery so that I have extra battery juice. And I have, because again, I'm 225 pounds, I felt like I was casing the suspension all the time on the back, so I've replaced that with a spring and pneumatic suspension. So yeah, that's what I've done so far. Oh, and also my little duct tape flap to protect the keyhole when I'm out riding in mud. Try and protect the battery compartment. So far I've got about 430 kilometers on this bike, which I think is almost 300 miles for anybody in the US who's watching. The thing's still a beast. I'm still doing really stupid things that it's probably not specifically built for. Taking it up and down out in mountains, kind of like that one. And just abusing the hell out of it. I do have a ticket in for having the rear support, not support, the rear cargo rack to be replaced. They're going to charge me for shipping on that, but not the actual cost of the replacement. Yeah. So that's everything so far. As far as what I think should be worked on to make it better in the future, I like the build of it so far. I bought it. It's got a really strong motor with lots of torque to it. 8-speed gear train means that it's got lots of opportunity to go up and down for going flat out speed or for climbing and getting that really high torque. It's got some good knobby tires on it. The things that I would suggest for a 4.0 or a new bike mode is upgrading the rear suspension so that it's an adjustable as well as spring strengthened suspension. And while you're at that, maybe upgrading the front suspension so that it's got longer travel and a bit more off-road capabilities. Again, this is for if you're looking to create a better off-road bike, not just a out camping bike. I know that with, I think it's the Horizon, they have a bike that's got 24-inch wheels, so I'd suggest maybe making the 24-inch version. The reason why I didn't go with the Horizon was because the frame didn't look as sturdy as this one does. Like, this L bracket frame is very beefy, especially when you have the battery inside the center compartment there. It is a beastly frame. And so if you have this frame with the 20-inch wheels, I think it'd be much better off. One of the other things I'd suggest is if this little stand up here, which is, I call it the stirrup, which is used to actually lean the bike on when you fold it in half, if that was some sort of like kickstand so that it could get out of the way so you could go over obstacles a whole lot easier, that would be another option. And having the tail light be mounted to maybe the wheel cover, or just mounted to the frame body or something like that, so that it's not part of this cargo rack. So if you don't need the cargo rack while you're out and about, you can completely remove the rack, and then it's no longer in the way, and you don't have to disconnect all the wiring up in here to actually take the cargo rack off, because that's like me going off-road in the mountains and stuff like that is part of the reason why the cargo rack is having these holes become bored open here, all the way around. And that's just all the vibration and stuff like that going actual mountain biking. Yeah, aside from that, it's a great bike, and I'm going to take it to hopefully Silver Star and Vernon next weekend and see if I can take it on some pay-per-use mountain bike trails. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any other suggestions. I'm going to do a brake bleed kit. Oh, and if this frame survives until, say, next spring and continues to do well, I might just replace the front end suspension kit, as well as maybe, if I have the spare coinage, with a new longer travel suspension and maybe bigger tire just on the front. See if that'll change up the geometry a bit better. And I might also change it out with a Shimano Dior gear set for the rear gear system. So yeah, thanks for checking in with me. Bye.